There's something happening around you that can't be explained logically. It's deeper than words, louder than sound, and more intense than any surface reaction. People might not say it to your face. They might not even understand it themselves, but their spirits know exactly who you are. They feel it, they sense it, and even if they try to hide it, the shift is undeniable every time you enter the room. It's not about popularity. It's not about physical appearance. It's about presence. A divine presence that surrounds you, walks with you, and goes before you. Their spirits recognize the mark of God on your life, the oil that can't be faked, the light that can't be dimmed. That's why they stare a second longer. That's why they suddenly go quiet. That's why they act different around you. Their spirit knows. You carry something they don't understand but deeply feel. You've been wondering why people treat you strangely, like they're confused, uncomfortable, or overly curious. You felt the eyes on you when you're not even trying to stand out. You've noticed how people keep track of your movements, your words, your very presence. That's because, spiritually, you're not hidden. Heaven has made you visible, not for fame, but for purpose. And now, everywhere you go, spiritual antennas are rising. Some people are drawn to you without knowing why. They say things like, "There's something different about you," or "I feel peaceful around you." That's because your spirit is releasing an atmosphere. You didn't manufacture it. It's divine. When God sets someone apart, their very existence becomes a testimony. You don't have to preach a sermon. You don't have to quote. Just being there, just existing in alignment with your purpose, disrupts and shifts the environment. And at the same time, others will avoid you, distance themselves, or act irritated around you, not because of anything you've done wrong, but because their spirits are unsettled by your purity. You remind them of the standard they compromised, of the calling they rejected, of the path they once considered but abandoned. You're not judging them, but your presence convicts them anyway. Their spirits are testifying silently. This one belongs to God. You're carrying something heavy in the spirit. That's why your journey has felt so lonely at times. God didn't just choose you, He marked you. There's a light on you that exposes darkness, not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. And the enemy knows that if people get too close to you, they'll start seeing truth clearly. That's why the warfare around your relationships has been so intense. That's why some people love you and resent you at the same time. Their spirit is drawn, but their flesh is conflicted. Chosen one. This isn't about attention, it's about assignment. Heaven placed something inside you that makes spirits respond, whether in reverence or resistance. You carry an anointing that breaks atmospheres. You carry a presence that awakens sleeping souls. You carry a light that calls people out of hiding. And now the world around you, even in its silence, is acknowledging what it cannot explain. Some people will want to be close to you, not because they love you, but because they sense something powerful radiating from you. Guard your spirit. Not everyone watching you is watching in awe. Some are watching in envy. Some are watching in confusion. Some are watching to see if you fall. But here's what they all have in common. Their spirit has already confirmed your authenticity. And that's why they can't look away. Even those who don't believe in God, they still feel something when they encounter you. Because spiritual truth doesn't need permission to be felt. It transcends intellect. You are walking proof that God is still speaking, still moving, still setting people apart for glory. And every room you walk into becomes a stage where heaven's story is told through your posture, your peace, and your power. You're not being paranoid. The shift is real. The attention is real. The way people respond to you isn't random. It's spiritual intelligence. Their spirit sees yours. Their spirit hears what heaven has whispered about you. And whether they admit it or not, they're watching closely, because your life carries revelation. Don't let it overwhelm you. Let it affirm you. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out, not for ego, but for eternal purpose. The attention isn't the reward. The attention is a side effect of being aligned. You prayed for God to use you, and now He is. And the evidence is in the way people respond, the way they shift, the way they look at you like you're not even from this world. You're sent. You may not realize it yet, but your very presence is activating dormant spirits in others. Some of them have been asleep for years, numbed by trauma, distracted by the world, or buried under generational pain. But when you walk into the room, something in them stirs. Not because you're trying to do anything special, but because the light inside you doesn't ask for permission to shine. It just does. And when it does, darkness gets nervous, and slumbering souls start to feel the echo of who they once were meant to become. Chosen one. Your walk is awakening something deep in people. And that's why you can't be casual about your assignment. That's why obedience is non-negotiable in this season. Because your obedience to God is creating ripple effects in the unseen realm. You are setting off chain reactions in families, workplaces, cities, and you might not even realize it. The shift is not always visible at first, but in the spirit, heaven is tracking every step you take, and hell is trembling at the impact. You've likely noticed how some people come around you and immediately start talking about their dreams, their childhood hopes, their buried desires. It's not random. Your anointing is a mirror. It shows people what they could be if they surrendered, what they lost when they gave up, what they could recover if they returned to God. That's why they start opening up to you. That's why they feel the need to confess things, even when you didn't ask. Their spirit recognizes safety. It recognizes truth. It recognizes God in you. But with this level of spiritual influence also comes weight. The pressure to stay grounded. The temptation to shrink so others feel comfortable. The isolation that comes when your presence exposes things people were hoping to keep hidden. You might feel misunderstood, misread, or even rejected. But let me tell you this clearly. You are not being rejected. Their flesh is reacting to what their spirit knows to be true. They feel your authenticity, and that authenticity is confronting their compromise. Don't shrink, don't dim, don't apologize for being aligned. You didn't ask for this anointing. Heaven gave it to you, and heaven will sustain it in you. When people look at you, they're not just seeing a person. They're seeing a message, a divine message that speaks even when you say nothing. And some people aren't ready for that level of clarity. So they might try to label you, mock you, or distance themselves. Let them. That's not your burden to carry. You were sent to be seen, not understood by everyone. There are people assigned to your life who will recognize you, not by the flesh, but by the spirit. They won't be confused, intimidated, or envious. They'll feel a familiar vibration, a divine alignment. Their spirit will say, I know you, I've prayed for someone like you. I've dreamed of walking beside someone carrying fire like this. And when those people find you, they won't compete with you, they'll cover you. They won't drain you, they'll pour into you. God is sending those people to Dot. Until then, hold your peace. Let those who can't handle your light fall away. Don't beg for access. Don't chase connection. You are not on earth to be liked. You're here to be lit, to be a beacon, to be a divine reminder that God still chooses, still anoints, still sanctifies for himself a remnant that refuses to blend in. And the enemy knows this. That's why the distractions are increasing. That's why certain relationships are being shaken. That's why your name is in conversations you never initiated. The fire on your life is unignorable. Even demons know who you are. That's why spiritual attacks don't always come when you're weak. They come right when you're aligned. Because the kingdom of darkness watches too. They see when you're walking in truth, and they launch distractions designed to blur your purpose. But here's the good news. What God put in you is fireproof. No slander, no attack, no misunderstanding can extinguish what heaven has sealed. You don't need to announce who you are. Your walk announces it. Your peace announces it. Your glow announces it. Your favor announces it. And whether people can articulate it or not, their spirits have already acknowledged you. That's why they can't treat you like everyone else. That's why they react more strongly to your presence. That's why you've been elevated without trying, because what's on you can't be hidden. You've been wondering why the warfare increased as you became more obedient. It's because your visibility increased in the spirit. And visibility always attracts activity. But don't fear it. God never reveals what he won't protect. And he's not just protecting you physically. He's shielding your name, your reputation, your legacy. Even when you're silent, heaven is speaking on your behalf. And for every watcher, visible or invisible, God is using your life as a lesson. Some are watching to see how you carry pressure. Others are watching to copy your glow. And still others are watching just to wait. But what they don't realize is that this glow wasn't self-made. It was God-ordained. And what God ordains, no man can cancel. You are a divine disruption in a world addicted to comfort. Your life is prophetic. Your movement is strategic. Your silence is louder than most people's noise. That's why it's never just about you. It's about the kingdom. It's about the message. It's about the impact that your obedience is releasing into the earth. You're not just being watched, you're being read like a living scroll. So stand tall, keep moving. Let your life preach without words. Because every day you walk in alignment, someone else's spirit gets stirred, someone else's eyes open, someone else's chains rattle. You were born for this, chosen for this, equipped for this. And even if no one ever tells you out loud, their spirits already did.